Let us now proceed and check out what is HashMap in Java. Now remember, the HashMap has the interface of map, and it is a collection of objects as a key value pair. So inside the IntelliJ IDE, let us now clean up all the code. Now as a comment line, I have written some data. Name Shashank, roll number 23, date of birth as this much. Now if you notice here that all the values are present in the form of key value pair. This is the key and this is the value. This is the key and this is the value. And same applies to the date of birth as well. Now the hash map is similar to what we have written here. It actually accepts the data in the form of key value pair. So to define the hash map, we have the interface of map. So let us use map, and as a parameter, it simply expects the key value. What should be the key and what should be the value? So here what I will use is, as a key I will pass the box type integer, and as a value I will now pass a string, and this time I will define my name's map equal to, let's say, new hash map. Now again it is showing some error. Let us press Alt plus enter and import the class. And there we go, we have got two import packages, JavaUtil hashmap and JavaUtil.map. Now, in order to insert data within your hash map, you have to insert it with the help of key value pair. Now notice here that our key is integer and the value is string. Now if you define the hash map of the key value pair as integer and string, then your hash map will appear something like this. As for example, here we have on the left hand side the key as integer and the value as string. And again we have key as integer, value as string, and so on. That applies to 13 and Robert as well. So they are all present in the form of key value pair like we have it here. And now let us use namesmap.put method. That will help you to add the element into the hash map. So put the key, let us give it 2, and then the value as, let's say, Shashank. And then let us add 43 and Rahul as a key value pair. So this is how we enter the data into the hash map as a key value pair. Now notice here that as a key and as a value you can have any possible combination. As for example, you can have it string here or the dog object here, or even you can have the character box type, or let's call it string here. Any possible combination, it is actually possible. Even you can change it by employee object like this. So right now let us revert it back to integer and the string. So each of the name, that is the value, is associated with the object of, let's say, integer. Now how do we access the element within the hash map? So for that we have a syntax of namesmap dot get the object from a specific key. Now let us use the key of, let's say, 43. So this is simply going to return a string name. And now you can print out the name, right, like this. Let us now run the code. And there we go, we got Rahul in the output console. And now let us check out the properties. So the first property we already checked out that they contain values based on key. And the second property is that they are not ordered. Now the third one is they contain unique values. Now the second and the third one, I will come to this later. Now the fourth one is they can only store object type data. That is, you cannot have the primitive type data of int here. It is actually not allowed. So always use the box type or the object type data. And now the third one is that they contain only unique values. Now in hash map, if you try to insert the duplicate elements, then the previous element will be replaced by the new one. That is, as for example, if you try to put a new name for the key of 43, then let's see what happens. If I use namesmap.put and then use the key of 43 and then use a new name, let's say like this, then let's see what we get when we try to extract the value associated with this key. So here we are getting new name just because the value of Rahul, which was associated with the key of 43, is now replaced by new name. So always remember, in hash map you should not have the duplicate entry, right? And now the hash map are actually not ordered. That is, these elements does not contain any index. That is, they are not present in any sequence. And now at the end, let us now try to print all these elements out with the help of the for each loop. So for that again, let us use for. Let us use the interface of map.entry. That will simply give you all the entry present inside the hash map, and then use object of hash map dot get all the entries by using the entry set, right, like this. So this is a syntax to get all the entries from the hash map and print it out using the print statement. So sout, then use the entry dot get the key, and then using the entry get the value as well. So this entry will simply give you the key as well as the value as well. Let us now run the code. And there we go, we have got 2 Shashank, 43 Rahul and 13 Robert. So everything is working perfectly fine. And now apart from the add and get operation, in HashMap we can perform various other operations such as, let's say you can use the size keyword to get the size, clear to erase all the elements within the hash map, contains key that will simply tell you that whether the hash map contains a particular key or not, and the same applies to the value as well. And there are many other methods. Now if you want to explore more on the properties of the hash map, then please check out the helper text below. In the helper text you will get the details of more about the operations on the hash map. So this was all about the hash map in Java.